All right, so we are going to be using OnShape here today to start to work on some of these drawings and get a three-dimensional drawing as well. Um, Again, the main purpose of the class, of course, is to be in AutoCAD. Uh, However, when we do need to go remote on some things, it's nice to also have this backup. And most CAD designers are fluent in multiple different types of CAD software out there. So as we take a look at this, we are going to start by creating a new document. So let's go ahead and create a new document. And this is going to be our guide plate. So I'm going to go ahead and name this guide plate. So and I'll go again guide plate hyphen first and last, so you make sure that you name it with your name, and we'll go ahead and hit create. As that comes up, so I had the drawing up on the screen, so give me 1 second and I will get this back up on here for just a minute. All right, so I've got the guide plate up here in the upper right hand corner of this screen so that you can see it, and I've kind of shrank my overall screen for OnShape with my web browser down a little bit here too. So the first thing we're going to do is start a sketch. So I'm going to come up here to my toolbar. We will click create a new sketch. As we get in here, the first thing it wants is the sketch plane. So I'm going to sketch on the front plane. So I'm going to left click here to select that. Notice on my sketch pop-up window, it is now showing that we are sketching on the front plane. I'm going to come right over here to my view cube, and notice on my view cube I can kind of select different areas. I just want I want to look directly at that front view, so I'm going to left click on that to kind of bring it in. Again, we call that the view normal, where I'm looking directly at it. So I'm looking straight at that particular view. We call that the view normal. Now, at this point, so since I'm in Sketch, I have different tools. Of course, I've got my line tool right here. If I click the drop down arrow on that, notice we have several different types of tools that we could kind of use in this case. For me, it's going to be the line tool. So I'm going to go ahead and select the line. Now, I don't really care at this point what any of these dimensions are. So we could use those if you want, but all I need to do is kind of just draw the shape. So, and I'm going to make sure that I lock it in. So here at parallel. So here, now notice as soon as I left click again, so I'm given a dimension. So let's go ahead and type that dimension. We see that's 6.5 and enter. Okay. Now I can kind of zoom out here and pan down. So I'm just using my wheel on my cursor here. In this case now, I know that the line wants to kind of come over to the right. So I can sit here and I can try to get that right at that dimension, but I don't really need to take that much time. So just make sure that it's perpendicular and parallel when they need to be. I'm going to left click here, and that gives me the ability to go 6.5 and hit the enter key to bring this in. Now, again, at this point, I'm not given the angle. I just know that there's an angle there. So I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just place a line there. I don't care what size it is, and I'll right click, hit escape. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back to my line tool again. So since I don't really know what this is, but I'm given some dimensions here, so I'm going to kind of go on and place these lines. Now, if you look at this, so I'm seeing this be, and this is a 8-inch dimension, and then I'm coming back 2.5 inches. So, or is that 9 inches? Let's kind of zoom in on this so that we see. Yep, so that's 8 inches from here to there, and then I'm coming back over 2.5 inches. So that means that this line length is going to be 8 minus 2.5. So this line length here will be 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. So let's come back to the line. I'm going to left click here where I place that origin. So So, nope, I wasn't in the line tool. Let's go back. Line tool, left click. Now, bring that over to the right. Make sure that it is horizontal. Left click and type in 5.5, which is the length of that line. Hit enter. Now I'm going up, and here we can see that this is 2.5. So I'm just going to make sure that this is a vertical line. I'm going to left click, type in 2.5, hit the enter key. Going to come over here now. Now I need to know this 2, make sure that this is horizontal. Left click, 2.5, enter to place that. And now I'm going straight up, and I'm going to bring it until it hits this intersection. Now notice here as we get these lines in place, so I'm getting a vertical line symbol. See, as I grow this line, you'll see on the left hand side of the line it's given me a length, and on the right hand side of the line it's given me a symbol. It's like a vertical symbol that's locking that in and making sure that that is vertical. When it hits here, so now it's giving me a symbol for an intersection point, and I definitely want that to intersect, so I'm going to go ahead and left click there. Now I'm still on the line drawing tool, so I'm going to right click, escape that line. So and now I've got the basic outside shape. I have this stringer here, so we want to get rid of that. So let's kind of come back over to our line tools. So these are all kind of to give us different shapes here, but I also have the fillet, the trim, extend, split, offset. I've got all of these tools right here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my trim tool. So I select the scissors for the trim tool, and now I'm just going to come right over here, and I will left click on that to trim that out. I didn't need that anymore. So next thing I've got to place is this 2.5 inch dimension hole. So our 2.5 inch diameter hole here, and the 1.5 inch hole here. So let's go in now, back over to our draw toolbar over here. Let's go ahead and select. Notice this is a center point circle. So I'm going to go ahead and left click the center point circle. Again, I don't really care right now about placing this in the right dimension. I'm just going to go, I'm going to left click, and we will make this bigger. I'll left click to place a circle. Notice down here I'm given where I will place the diameter of that. So in this case it's going to be 2.5. All right, now I've given that the size of the circle. Let's go ahead, while we're still in the tool, I'm going to place this one up here too. So, and I'll left click and left click, type in 1.5 for the diameter, hit enter. Now, as you look at these, I have defined the actual size of the hole. I've given that size, but I haven't given it the position. So we also need to come in and constrain it with what we call a constraint, or a dimensional constraint here. So in order to do that, I'm back up to my toolbar right here where the dimension is. So I'm going to left click on that dimension to activate it. I'm going to come here to the center of this hole. So I'm going to left click on the center of that diameter, and then I'm going to left click on this line. Bring that down. We're going to define the location of this hole. So I'm going to left click to place that dimension. This is going to be 2.5, enter. Notice it moves it over for me. Now, come back. So I've placed the distance from the center of that circle to the left side of the part. Now I need to place it from the center of the circle to the bottom edge of the part. So I'm going to left click on the center of it and left click on that bottom. We'll move this over. Left click to place the dimension. This is 3, so I'll type in 3 and enter. It moves it over. Now I got to do the same thing location. I've got from the center of this hole over to this edge is 5 inches, and from the top to the center is 1.5. So I'm still in that dimensioning tool, so I'm going to locate this hole. So we'll go from center up to this edge. We can go ahead and kind of place this, and it really doesn't matter whether you place it to the right or to the left. I'm going to keep this over here to the left just because that's what it's showing in our drawing. So I'll left click to place this, type in the dimension 1.5, enter. That plate is placed there. And now I have to do the same thing from center of there to this edge right here. So let me kind of move this up and left click to place it. In this case, this is 5 inches. So I'll go 5, enter, and I've placed that. Now, I'm going to hit my escape key button twice to get out of that dimensioning key. And now I can kind of move this around. Let's kind of just to help us, I'm left click and hold to move this up. Let's kind of get this kind of similar to looking the way it looks in our handout here. So I'm just kind of left clicking and moving each of these dimensions, getting them where we want them to be. So let's move this one up. Let's get this one over here, get that kind of off of there. And in this case, let's move this over here. So I have a dimension from here to here, and this 2.5 inch dimension is right here. Now, if you notice something, we've got some other dimensions that aren't really on here. They're kind of already defined in a way. This is showing 2.5, and we already know that from here to here is 8 inches because 5.5 plus 2.5 is 8. All right. And we kind of drew this intersection point up here, which according to our drawing should be 5.5 inches. So we're going to kind of double check here. We are going to go in and just double check to make sure that this location is correct. So let's go back to our dimension, and we're going to click from here to this intersection point right there. Notice we are not. So something is not right with that. Well, part of the reason for this is when we kind of created this line, we just came down at an angle. We actually didn't define what that angle should be. So right now, this dimension is going to define that angle as well. So let's go ahead and change that. It's at 5.13. We're going to make this 5.5 here and place that. Now, notice how that moves it up. Now we have everything fully dimensioned and constrained by all of these dimensions as well. So let me hit the escape key. So notice as soon as I hit the escape key, it's going to unhighlight and get me out of that dimensioning tool. So just to help for clarity's sake, grab this 2.5 inch leader line dimension right here. Let's place that there. And let's move this one over and let's place that one there. So again, this is kind of replicating and looking like our actual print that we're drawing from. And now that I'm finished with the sketch, I'm going to check mark and place that. So there's where we're at for right now. I'm going to pause this and we'll come back to see how we finish this off. All right, so our sketch is finished and we are out of the sketch. So I can kind of press my shift key and the roller track button, and we can kind of move this around so that you can kind of see that now. And we can move this. I'm going to also come to right here. If I check and left click on that corner of the view cube, notice how it positions it. I can also come over here to my cube here, and we can just click isometric view there. Now, we're going to extrude this. So come back up. Now I've got all my 3-dimensional tools up here. I'm going to extrude this. So the first thing it wants is to know what we want to extrude. Well, in this case, I'm going to extrude this back. Now notice, it didn't pick up on the holes, which we don't want it to. We just want it to be extruded, and it brought it out of this. I'm going to click this arrow right here. We're going to send it back the other way, and we're only going to extrude this by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to change this to 0.75. That's all I need to do with this, and we'll go ahead and hit the check mark. So there, I've got this. I can come over here to my top, front, right side, and let's just turn these off. Notice these eyeballs. Let's go ahead and click on the eyeball so we don't see there, and there's a good 3D representation of our part. This part is finished drawn.